Friends, would you please give it up for our fill-in timekeeper, the one, the second string timer, Mel Saxton.
Good evening. My name is Mel Saxton, and as we heard in a clip of Jerry Seinfeld's comedy routine earlier this year, people's number one fear is public speaking, followed by the second most common fear, which is death. In this class, we are facing and overcoming that number one fear, but how are we able to protect ourselves from death? It's personally my worst fear, and it's impossible for me to not think about the possibility of someone shooting me, whether I'm looking out a dark window, going to school, driving past a police car, or simply walking down the street. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been over 35,000 deaths due to gun violence as of yesterday. That's about 118 deaths a day. Within that statistic, there have been 565 mass shootings as of 2023 so far. That means that there have been 565 incidents where 4 or more people have been shot and killed. These deaths are most common in Texas, California, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Illinois, and Louisiana. As SCAD students, it is scary, but it is also important that we note that Georgia is on this list. Last week, I surveyed this class and asked if we had witnessed gun violence or have seen a news report of some kind about gun violence in your city. And 26 out of 27 of you answered yes. Now, that is a very small representation of the entire US population, but with our variety of backgrounds and the facts that I just stated a second ago, it's safe to assume that most people in America have been impacted by gun violence in some capacity. There is a way to lower these numbers, though, and it's to invest in place, turning unsafe neighborhoods and cities into places people actually want to be. According to an article by Brookings Institute, the same places that were imagined to be areas unworthy of economic investment are more likely to be the places where violence and violent injury are most common a century later. So if we invest in spaces that people and family feel safe in, then the rate of violence will decrease. A study in Philly referenced by the Brookings Institute stated that efforts to transform and clean vacant lots in high poverty neighborhoods led to a 29% decrease in violent crime. They found that urban greening in urban neighborhoods decreased the violent crime, and the presence of streetlights, painted sidewalks, and public transportation and parks reduced the odds of homicide by at least 76%. So the more welcoming of an environment is, which is caused by what's in the environment and also the people there, the more safe the place tends to be. So imagine that creepy alleyway with the flickering light being filled with murals and static lighting instead. Vacant parking lots or turned into community parks. We're no longer be filled with the paranoia of walking down the street or going to school. Neighborhoods would be more safe, and the only thing you would worry about is a kid running and getting a scrape on their knee. So if it's possible for a hood neighborhood in Philly, it's possible in Chicago and cities in Texas, California, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Louisiana. Now, I'm not asking you to go out, call your mayor, and tell them that you have to redesign the whole city. Although I won't stop you if you try. But if nothing else, what I want everyone to get away from this is to at least think about how your city could benefit from environmental infrastructure, and when the opportunity arises, invest. Okay.
I thought it was a really good speech, and like in the beginning when you were talking about gun violence, I wasn't sure like what you were going to talk about the like solution kind of side of it, and it was really cool that it was investing in place and related back to this class. And it was different from what I was expecting, so that was really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, just to add on to that, it's like this is when I knew that you were doing this topic, I wasn't really expecting it this way, but like that really fits into it. You did very well.
Y'all are rocking the speeches. Mel, this was really a great speech, done really well. I concur. I think I wasn't sure where you were going with this, even though I think we talked when we were working it out in small groups or whatever. But I absolutely concur. But your delivery is always, I think, done with such great enthusiasm, energy, passion. So all in all, nicely done. Well done. Thank you.